Hi folks, today I will talk about a 2022 action drama called Top Gun: Maverick. This is the second installment of the 80s cult classic series, which, even 36 years after the release of the original, became a box office hit and the main blockbuster of the year. The legendary Pete Mitchell, also known by the nickname Maverick, works as a test pilot in the position of captain. Despite his achievements, he refuses a promotion, as he wants to continue flying and not give orders at a desk. He is informed that Rear Admiral Kane is on his way to the base to shut down the hypersonic scramjet program and redirect funding to drone development. This seriously annoys Pete. Despite of them yet reaching intended flight speed, the work is progressing according to plan. The man decides to sit at the helm and accelerate the plane to the required parameters. The Rear Admiral finds out about the daring trick and orders the pilot to stop. However, Maverick ignores the officer, pretending not to hear him. To everyone's surprise, he manages to reach the planned hypersonic speed, and even that turns out not to be enough for the brave pilot. He speeds up even more and exceeds all of the wildest expectations. As a result, the aircraft cannot withstand the load and simply collapses in the air. Mitchell manages to eject just in time. Such recklessness and disregard for orders threatens Mitchell with a tribunal, but Kane takes into account his past achievements. Maverick's fate will be decided by his former comrade in arms, Admiral Tom Iceman Kaczynski, with whom they studied at the elite military school Top Gun. That's where Pete should return as an instructor to prepare a new generation of pilots for a dangerous mission. The command briefs Mitchell with the details of the upcoming task. A terrorist country is building an unauthorized nuclear plant, causing a serious threat to the religion's allies, so the Pentagon made a decision to eliminate the facility even before the start of its full-fledged activity. The plant is located in a bunker in the middle of the mountain range, heavily guarded by missile launchers and a whole base of advanced jets. Pete expresses the opinion that they will have to fly on an older plane, since their navigation system will not work in the mountain canyon. But then they will have little chance against more advanced enemy aircraft. In any case, the mission is practically impossible, but Maverick is ready to take it on his shoulders. The leadership does not accept the captain's initiative. He won't fly anywhere. His task is to prepare the 12 Top Gun School best graduates and then select the 6 most prepared ones for the task. A stunned Mitchell notices a familiar face among the cadets. This is Bradley Rooster Bradshaw, the son of Maverick's best friend and partner who died because of his risky flying style. This pushes the captain away from his position even more. He doesn't want to send youngsters on a death mission, but the command has already made a decision. He has 3 weeks to train the young soldiers. At the bar, Peter meets his ex, Penny Benjamin. He violates the rules of the establishment by placing his phone on the bar and has to pay for the beer of all the patrons, among which the graduates of the Top Gun School are resting. Bradley appears, from whom Pete is hiding. The boy clashes with his cheeky competitor, Jake Hangman Serison. Both are convinced that they will be the leaders of the future mission. It's time for Pete to leave, but there are not enough funds on his card to pay the bill. Penny jokingly raises the alarm, and according to the rules of the place, the man has to be thrown out. The young pilots are happy to help out, having no clue of Mitchell being their new instructor. He takes one last look at Bradley, who looks a lot like his father. Flashbacks of the time spent with him immediately come to mind. Their flights and the terrible ending. A long, forgotten feeling of guilt resurfaces. The next day, the pilots meet their instructor. They are ashamed, but the man does not hold a grudge against them. Only Bradley is frankly not happy to see Maverick. Pete demonstrates his informal approach to learning by throwing a theory book in the trash. They are the best graduates of Top Gun, so why not prove it in practice? The old pilot challenges the youngsters, all against him in a practice dogfight. The students agree, counting on an easy victory, and even 200 push-ups in case of defeat does not frighten them. Very quickly, they realize that they underestimated the power of experience. Little by little, each of them comes under the radar of Maverick's fighter jet. and lands to practice push-ups. After the competition, Bradley tells his colleague Natasha Phoenix Trace about their old feud with Pete. The man stood in the way of his military career, rejecting the boy's application to the summer academy. The command is not satisfied with the captain's extra approach to training. It endangers expensive equipment and pilots' lives. Mitchell explains that this is the only way he can prepare them for such a deadly mission. It's time to tell the candidates the details of the task which they are about to face. They should fly to the target no higher than 100 meters so that they are not detected by anti-aircraft installations. They will have to maneuver between rocks, which requires extreme accuracy. Speed is equally important. One needs to reach the goal in just 2.5 minutes. During this gap, the enemy will have enough time to raise their fighter jets into the sky, making the battle unavoidable. The first practice flight according to the given plan goes unsuccessfully. Jake criticizes Bradley and says that his father's fate awaits him on the mission. The conflict almost ends in a fight. In a short while, Pete takes the young people to the beach where they have fun playing football. Management does not understand the purpose of idling. The captain explains that they need a coordinated team, and that this is what he's trying to instill. After some team building, Peter goes on a date with Penny. The couple spends the night together. The man talks about his complicated relationship with Bradley. He stood in the way of his military career because the boy's mother asked him to do so. In the next session, the mission's final details are revealed. Its success will depend on two things. Miracle number 1. A pair of 2 aircrafts should fly into the gorge and destroy the bunker's protective surface. Miracle number 2. The next pair of jets should hit a vulnerable target. In case even one misses, the mission is failed. During another training session, the pilot fails to hit the target, and one of the guys loses consciousness while practicing a sharp climb. He's brought to his senses at the last moment, but the troubles do not end there either. A bird got trapped in the engine of Natasha's fighter. The pilots managed to eject, but the vehicle crashed. After this disastrous display, Pete talks to Bradley. The man does not want to send him on a deadly mission. His father already died because of Maverick, and he feels responsible for the boy. Rooster demands not to intervene into his life. He is mature enough to weigh up his actions. The management is finally fed up with the controversial captain who only causes them financial losses and does not give the expected results. Pete Mitchell is suspended from the mission. Admiral Bo Cyclone Simpson is now the new instructor. In class, he presents his vision of the task. The flight must now be higher and the speed must be lower. The pilots realize that nobody is worried about their survival anymore. Suddenly, a fighter jet pops up on the radar. Maverick sat at the helm without any permission once again. He manages to fly the distance in 2.5 minutes at a height of 100 meters. The target is also successfully hit. Management scolds Pete for his insolence. However, he demonstrated the ability to flawlessly perform the task, so he gets appointed the leader of the strike group. It's time to announce the final 6 pilots who will go on the mission. Maverick chooses the best and appoints Bradley as his partner. It's hard for the guy to actually believe it. The planes are set and the dangerous mission is on. Following the pilots, the aircraft carrier sends missiles to destroy the enemy fighter jets. Everything goes according to plan. Maverick reaches the target and makes an accurate hit on the protective surface of the bunker. Immediately behind him, Bradley approaches the plant and, despite technical difficulties, miraculously hits the bullseye. The mission is accomplished, but the main thing remains to survive. Enemy's anti-aircraft missiles are chasing the team. The well-coordinated work of the pilots avoids them getting into trouble, but suddenly Bradley runs out of defensive ammo. Maverick covers the lad, but he gets hit himself. The plane is destroyed, and Maverick is on enemy ground. He is taken under the aim of a helicopter, and it seems that the captain has served his time. However, Bradley appears and saves his former instructor, despite the management's order to return to the base. Maverick wants to rejoice, but sees a missile hitting the guy's plane too. The angry man finds the surviving boy in the middle of the forest. What was he thinking? No wonder Pete himself taught the graduates such courage. The men find the base with a still working fighter jet. A desperate plan emerges. They manage to steal an old plane and take it into the air. The guys in the control room notice the signal of the pilots, who were already considered dead. 2 enemy jets appear nearby. It soon becomes obvious that the Americans have been exposed. Maverick decides to enter the battle and immediately damages one of the attackers. The second one starts chasing the imposters and clearly surpasses them in terms of speed. Pete masterfully lets the enemy pass forward and spends the last machine gun rounds to finish the opponent once and for all. It seems that everything is over. The men are heading to the base when suddenly another jet appears on their tail. There are no bullets, and the danger is getting closer. Mitchell gains altitude and orders Bradley to eject, but the launcher is jammed. The enemy is coming to destroy the noble soldiers, but suddenly receives an unexpected strike from behind. Jake just couldn't sit still while Bradley saved the day. The pilots return to the base where they are greeted as heroes. The mission has been completed in full and past conflicts have been exhausted. Time to finally celebrate the victory. After a while, Peter spends time with Bradley and then meets Penny. The man finally has something to spread his wings for: mutual support, respect, and love. The past, like an airplane's trail, remains far behind, so one only needs to go forward. What a spectacular and relevant film has been made. A terrorist country decided to shock the civilized world with its nuclear weapons and got fairly and justly punished. Sure, a bunker in the mountains can be a safe hiding place, but no one is eternal. Evil forces will inevitably lose. As long as the Americans get the job done in the movies, the armed forces of Ukraine can do it in reality. Friends, thanks for watching and be sure to share your thoughts on this movie. Don't forget to support the channel by hitting the like button and subscribing. See you soon.